And now, a workshop of the McAllen City Commission. All workshops are open to the public in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. These workshops allow for detailed staff presentations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll call this meeting to order. This is a workshop, and today's March 11th, 2024. We'll begin with item number 1, present questions to staff relating to the March 11th meeting. Does anybody have any questions that can be addressed to staff before the meeting?
None.
Okay, there being no questions, we'll go on to item number 2, presentation on EFT, convenience fees, card processing presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I went and put a couple of slides together just to kind of show our current card processing and EFT fees. So our presentation is going to include the parties involved in card payments, the processing cost, and our current department cost and current setup. And so there's a lot of parties involved in card processing, credit card processing. You'll have gateways, processors, settlement banks, networks, card brand databases. And so this next slide gives you a great presentation of how the transaction flows. I took this from a presentation I saw from IntelliPay, who's a merchant provider. And on your far right, bottom right corner, you see the customer. And the customer will, step 1, makes the payment. That will go through the online portal or the product used to make that payment. It'll connect to a gateway. The gateway then sends it through the network over to the card database for approval. Whether approved, authorized, or declined, that transaction comes back on over to the customer, lets them know if the transaction is approved. And at the same time, it's going to go to what's called a processor to process it at the bank, and then the bank pays the city the funds. I'm not a credit card expert, but this is kind of the general flow of the transaction, and you can see there's a lot of players involved, and typically each player is driving up the fees for these transactions. And so included in our processing costs, if you're to take one of the city's credit card statements, we're going to have a transaction fee, a card brand fee, monthly service fee, a terminal fee, monthly PCI, all these different kind of fees, and they vary from card to card depending on those credit card rewards. And it also depends whether the card's being transactions being done online, in person, over the phone. So each it's kind of hard to lock down what's an average cost per transaction because of all these different factors, right? And so here at the City of McAllen, we have various departments that budget the fee within their department. Last fiscal year, the city paid about $360,000 in credit card fees, and this is all inclusive of most of the departments, which is your enterprise fund departments, which is convention center, golf department, the airport, and you also have general fund accounts, general fund departments, which is vital statistics. Planning and permitting, the permitting departments, development center departments. Of that $360,000, a third is a cost to general fund. It's about a little bit over $100,000 in fees hitting the general fund. And then we have other departments that pass that cost on directly to the customer. It's not revenue we see at all. There's no cost to the city for that transaction. It's a service we offer the public. Users of that service pay that fee. The fee can be either a fixed percentage, a fixed dollar amount, or a percentage. And of course, the third party bears the risk of all the expenditures and of course benefits from the revenue. So, okay. So for third party processing fees, the departments that do have these, where we don't budget a cost to the city for taking credit card payments, it includes police department, finance department, the McAllen Public Utilities, Vital Statistics, and our tax office. So these, in front of you is the fee structure each department has, and you can see we each have a mix of our own, and it all depends at the time of our contract that we got with the third party, the volume of transactions each department has, the dollar amount we're collecting. Utilities gets a different rate because they're able to get a lower cost from Visa, MasterCard. And also, as far as electronic checks, we do have the tax office that accepts electronic checks, and just wanted to share the fee schedule there for you. It kind of looks like it kind of goes up $3 up to the $8. I'm not sure what the rhyme and reason is for the service fee and the ranges that were established, but these were the agreed on fees. These are the current fees that we're assessing. And next, I went ahead and give you a sample of the 3% credit card fee versus a check fee. So if someone making a payment at $300, their service fee for an e-check would be $3. If it was a credit card, they would be paying $9. And you can kind of see where the cost for a credit card would be much more significant than an e-check. And so just sharing the information as far as this is what the city has established. It's kind of a mix of items. There's a lot of cost when the city's taking all these costs, and a lot of that's out of our control. It all depends on the credit card that's being used to pay with. So I'll take any questions regarding our current process.
This came on because, as you all know, from time to time, you all get calls. So do we, but you all get calls that, we're overcharging on some of these transactions. And they can add up, you go pay taxes, you might be paying $2,000 or $3,000 or more. It's up at $100, $150. When we get a customer that is concerned about the amount, we advise them of the e-check, which is obviously much less. But in the end, it's up to them. They can also drop off a check, right, where there's no fee. But we can certainly understand the consumer's concern. But these are actual amounts that we have to pay. And none of that money comes to us. It's either to a third party or we pay the credit card.
Do we have, this for tax purposes, to the tax office, somebody paying $5,000 for a, tax bill from the city of McAllen?
It could, yeah.
We could, but do we, how often is that? Yeah? So businesses do that or what? Or multiple holdings? And they'll pay with a credit card? I still use checks, man. I don't know about you. I still have a checking account. I use
right.
checks.
Yeah.
I know Commissioner Zamora asked that it be put on. He's not here today, but it was a good, refresher overview of what's fees are being assessed. And I think we just encourage residents to pay by check and pay on time, pay by check, deliver it, or mail it. And
I think also a lot of times, most of these fees, like the ones for the taxes, aren't collected by McAllen, but we don't, that's the provider. The reason they're charging that is because it comes out of the net amount. So it's to make the whole, basically the tax bill whole. But I think most of our fees are pretty comparable, if not lower, than most any other public or even private entity that uses credit cards or allows credit cards. The only thing I would ask, maybe we could look into and talk to the vendor for MPU. The only thing with credit card is, I know you can set up automatic payments with a checking account, but I'm not sure if it's the vendor issue. It'd be nice if we could set up automatic payments on the credit card, because even for the home, I pay mine with credit card, but I've got to manually do it each month, specifically because there's not a method to set up automatic payments. The other thing is on MPU.
You mean outside of automatic bank draft? Because you
Right.
can do automatic bank draft.
Yes, with a checking account, but you can't do it with a credit card.
Right.
Like have a credit card on file that gets billed automatically.
Correct.
Which is not a major inconvenience. But it'd be nice also if the vendor upped the limit for credit card payments. So it's capped at 500, but most businesses are 600, 900, 1,500. So you have to do it 3 times and break it up if you want to pay by credit card.
Okay.
It doesn't affect most residential and even small businesses, but
Check it out.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Next item is McAllen Shines update.
Hi there. We're excited to give you an update. We've been doing a couple of things behind the scenes. Happy to provide you with that. So we created a logo that was featured and unveiled at the State of the City address. Hope you like it. Pretty slick, clean. So we created a committee made up of 13 members of the City of McAllen, department heads and department managers, with the idea of commencing an education program within the City of McAllen departments so that we can delineate the expectations of what this initiative will require from every single employee in every single department. So we meet every 2 weeks. We've been doing that for the past 6 weeks. The methodology that we're focusing on is basically these 3 pillars: education, demonstrate, and participate. Educate the community, internal and external, and demonstrate by setting the example. We're looking at ensuring that all our city facilities, especially those with high traffic, have set the example and show the community what the expectation of this initiative is. The participate portion is obviously encouraging the entire community to participate in this initiative and focus on a culture change, with emphasis on culture changing. You know that that's not easy. It takes time and a lot of effort. So the approach the committee came up with is 2-phase. One is between February to May of 2024, which is the rest of the school year. We're looking again at educating and getting buy-in from within the departments, hoping that they embrace this culture change. The next step is approaching all the city boards. There's 22 boards within the city. We're going to divide the committee into groups so that they are assigned to each board and get the buy-in from the boards and help the boards understand what this initiative is all about. The Office of Communications is going to help us promote that through social media and all the avenues that they currently are available to them. The education elementary and middle schools is something that we've already started. We attended a couple of the principals' meetings at McAllen ISD in hopes that they would allow us to go into the school district and promote the initiative. And we were received with open arms. Everybody within the school district is excited and willing to help us. And the intention here is to deputize and certify all the school-age children with a badge that says that they are pledging to be deputies of this program. And we hope that this initiative will reach the homes, their friends and families, to help McAllen shine. We actually met with Dr. Rene Gutierrez, the superintendent from McAllen ISD, and he's excited and on board to help us promote this initiative. In fact, he is encouraging to create a video campaign using his students along with MISD and McAllen officials, maybe a 1-minute video or so that they can feature it on the big Jumbotron at all the McAllen events. So we're going to work on that initiative with their video production team in their school district. So we're looking forward to that. Please look at your calendars because we're going to be tugging and reaching out to you to help us with that initiative. We're also sampling. We created some samples for decals on all city vehicles with a reminder to have all city employees that use city vehicles to stop and pick up litter when they're driving throughout our community. Many times you'll see the city vehicles drive right by a trash bag or an old tire or whatever. So we're going to try to encourage them to stop and pick this up so that they can help us keep the McAllen Shines initiative and our community clean.
And of
I
course,
met-
when they can do so safely.
Yes, sir. If they can, we will. I met with Elizabeth Suarez, the new CEO and president of the chamber, to develop a strategy to work with chamber businesses to get the initiative out in the open and encourage her. So she gave me a calendar with all the different events she's got scheduled for the rest of the year, and we selected the different venues and events that we will be attending to promote McAllen Shines. We also applied for an EPA grant. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but we will continue trying. Phase one, we have a great partnership right now with our enforcement team. The police department is already issuing citations for littering, and the municipal court judge, Lauren Sepulveda, is supporting us. In fact, she is part of our committee. She's one of our committee members, and so she's helping them. She's going to help us ensure that follow through. There's follow through. We are also exploring what the consequence will be if people don't do what they're supposed to do. So we're hoping that either a punitive or incentive option to get some enforcement. The code enforcement officers continue to patrol the city, continue to enforce our city ordinances. Public Works has enhanced its sweeping schedule. We've included our medians and our turning lanes into the sweeping schedule. We will be executing a new herbicide route. We currently have just one truck. The fact that you approved a second truck will give us an opportunity to divide the city in two and conquer. We're also looking at a one-time courtesy curb appeal cleanliness. We want to, you can see the before and after picture there. That's the south side of the Public Works facility, right on Nolana between Benson and Taylor. And that's what we'll do for all city buildings as a free courtesy to lay out the expectation of what the curb appeal should look like. We will be doing that in major streets and in connectors as well. And we hope that we can educate our community, because unfortunately, many residents are not aware that they are responsible for the front of their property up to the middle of the street and the middle of the alley as well. That's what we're finding out when we're going out to the community. And so it's just a matter of educating them and encourage them to do their part. We have a current sanitation patrol app where several employees throughout Public Works have an iPad where they can easily click one of the buttons, whether it's illegal dumping, a street sign, a weedy lot, a traffic light, a sidewalk damages, or potholes. So we're going to add the overgrown grass to the app so that can be reported and we can address it. Keep McAllen Beautiful continues to promote their Great American Cleanup, which will take place April 13th at the Municipal Park this year. They continue promoting Adopt a Park. They've got 15 parks adopted with 16 groups. They have 2 groups that address Bill Shoe Park. The beautification efforts continue. They encourage litter pickup in front of the businesses. They've got a beautification award for 4 businesses that keep their landscape kept. And they also encourage those that are not so well kept to to keep them, to embrace it and pick up. We worked on one of the businesses on the north side of McAllen, and it really has helped. There's a T-shirt project that Keep McAllen Beautiful initiated, so when they see a resident or anybody doing something good throughout the community, they will be issuing out Keep McAllen Beautiful T-shirts. In fact, last week, Chris Lash ran across a resident or a vendor that was in one of the stores that he actually walked some distance to ensure that he returned the shopping cart to the rack. I know that's one of the things the mayor was hoping to promote with this initiative. Phase two, we're looking at September through December of 2024. We're looking at, in those months, approaching the schools that are outside the city, outside of MISD, which is your private schools, your IDEA schools, Sharyland, those Sharyland schools that are within the city of McAllen, and the homeschoolers. We're also looking at reaching out and partnering with SDC, UTRGV, and Texas A&M. We're looking at approaching civic organizations such as the Rotary and the Leadership McAllen and the Lions Clubs and church groups. We will be also visiting commercial establishments and promote awareness of their store. In fact, I think this is also an opportunity that we can encourage and promote the McAllen Refresh Program, showing them that there is funding available if they're serious about beautifying their storefront. We are looking at our future shining partners, H-E-B, Walmart, the mall, and the realtors, anybody that will listen, we will reach out to. This next slide is a picture of the mayor with our first class at Wilson Elementary. He certified 350 students at that school. We have 18 elementary schools throughout McAllen, so we just got started with one. We've got 4 schools already earmarked for March and April and May. So after that, we're going to hit the middle schools and then the high schools. So thank you, Mayor.
Good.
And this is what the certification looks like. The students will receive a badge. The badge is that one right there. It says deputy. And the certificate that'll be signed by the mayor. This is an update of the resources. Back in September, you all approved, and all this is new equipment added and new employees added to Public Works for a total of $947,524. The coordinating with the marketing co-op is barely starting. The herbicide truck and street sweeper have already been awarded. One was in February, the sweeper in January. They're estimated to get here within a few months. The personnel that was approved is, one was selected and it's going through background. The next is, we interviewed last week, so we should have a selection soon. The marketing developer administrator is on background, so she should be here soon. The items, the deputizing of the badges, we ordered 5,000. They should be here by the end of this week. The stated decals, we've got some samples, and we should be ordering them probably at the end of this week. And I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Thank you so much for all the efforts. I think hopefully, absolutely correct, changing the culture. We need to start with the kids. I think that's what they did in Tampico, and it worked over there.
That's
So
correct.
if it worked over there, I think it can work here too. I just can't wait till we get the equipment, and you can tell the difference in the curb. That's one of the biggest issues you see, the curb, the grass, gravel on the curb, and all that type of stuff. Is there different equipment other than a street sweeper, like to vacuum the pebbles and all that stuff, or just a street sweeper?
For now, we only have street sweepers. We did request a vacuum. There is another piece of equipment that we could use for leaves more so than pebble, but it'll pick up any debris. Fortunately, it wasn't budgeted, but we'll submit it for your consideration again this year.
I was pretty excited going there. The kids were. Hopefully we can get them. And I think a lot of the times if we do enough, people will get shamed into doing things.
Yeah.
And generally, people are followers. Once somebody does, and you keep on doing.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, anybody?
Elvira, have we gotten any stricter on the lawn care services that are just blowing the leaves to the middle of the street? I've seen a lot of them.
Yes, we're trying to catch them. I know code enforcement is out there daily. When we see them, and Public Works staff will stop them.
They're in my neighborhood every day.
Really?
Mine too.
Did you hear that
Mayor,
code?
report it.
And the other thing, and I don't know, this is maybe more appropriate for Roy, every time somebody, even new subdivisions, within a few months, the grass is already coming out on the curb, on that plastic thing, I don't know what that's called. But like the brakes? What can we do to require something different, or, I don't know why, within a few months, it comes out.
The weeds, that's our herbicide program.
That might take an ordinance change.
That is
We'll
part.
look at it,
Yeah.
we'll look at it.
Yeah,
But-
that's part of the herbicide application
Right, but
too.
that's, I think he's looking at something more proactive.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's brand new, within a couple of months, grass
Oh,
is coming
yeah.
out of the, I don't know what you call them, the brake
In
lines,
in the construction
in the
side?
construction.
Well, no, you get fined if the construction side is high.
No, but I mean like on the sidewalks. You know, they have these squares, and they have like plastic, rubber, or.
Yeah,
Yeah, the construction joint.
The joints.
Okay, the joint expansion, thank you. That, you see, I guess it's not done properly or not enough. Dirt goes in or something happens, but you get grass out there. That's what I think makes the streets or the area look pretty bad.
Okay, we'll look at it. That might take like a addition of a geomembrane under the sidewalk so the grass doesn't go through.
Or at least where the joint expansion. So,
It's actually an expansion joint, but
expansion,
close enough. That's
I
right.
believed him.
My only comment, it looks like, the couple of trucks here, herbicidal truck and then a street sweeper. So that's a piece of equipment we're going to use for quite some time, right?
Right.
I would just encourage us to try and reduce cost on the other expenses. Almost $1 million, and so it's a lot of money for this initiative. And a lot of what we can do is going and using existing personnel and talking to people and doing the marketing channels that we already have. And so my feedback here is try to keep the cost low.
Yes, sir.
Sure, I'm sure everything that's done is gonna be done efficiently, but it's the beginning, and usually it's gonna be a lot more expensive just to take off, to start off equipment. 'Cause hopefully, we won't need any of that equipment for a long time. Anything else?
It'll be good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the hard work and your committee.
Okay, what do we have next? Okay, we'll recess, go into executive session.
This concludes the workshop of the McAllen City Commission. Workshops are held every second and fourth Monday of the month, convening at 4 p.m. at the McAllen City Commission Chamber on the third floor at McAllen City Hall.